got one straight away. How you all doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7. I'm Magpie Ultras back again with another video after Newcastle United draw in West Yorkshire. It finished Leeds United 0, Newcastle United 0, and I've just about got the bleach out of my eyes after that one. Goodness me! In all the years, in all the games that I've watched, that's got to be up there with one of the most frustrating, dull, lethargic, error-ridden games I've ever seen, to be honest. It was absolutely and utterly shite. I mean, talk about after the Lord's May, sure, you know, after Monday and the goals and the drama and the controversy, you know, a Premier League classic, it's been called straight away. We had to listen to Jamie Carragher on commentary and watch that, well, display, performance. Goodness me, you know, it was short on shots on target. There was a real lack of quality throughout the game. Where to start? I mean, it's obvious that it's always going to be a bit of a talking point. The lack of firepower, you know, that was on display today. That has limited us in the opening games, no doubt about it. I don't want to be too negative because it's 2 away games, 2 clean sheets, 2 points on the road. The fly in the ointment, of course, is the Liverpool game, and that is the frustration. But I'm trying to see it in the bigger picture of things. In that, generally, I won't look at the table until at least 10 games is gone. But again, definitely an opportunity missed today. It's a lot like the Aston Villa game, where I think we could have played till midnight, and to be honest, I don't think we would have scored any goals. The formation, we'll start with that one first of all. We played 5 across the back today, so that's a change to normal, and it was a bit of a head scratcher because I'm sitting there thinking, you know, we take on the reigning champions, we play 4 across the back, and we actually go for it, play some attacking football, take it to the opposition, high intensity, high press, all over the place. And we bloody the nose, and we should have got something out of that game. I think, again, if it been a striker on the pitch, I think we would have absolutely and utterly obliterated the Scousers, but it wasn't to be. And we go down to Ellen Road, which is, yes, an intimidating place. You know, a good atmosphere normally, a crowd that's really, again, normally up for it. And we play 5 at the back. We play 5 at the back against a promoted side, and 4 at the back against the champions, and it's like, should that not have been the other way around perhaps? I don't know what you think about it, but I was a little bit scratching my head before the game. I was pleased to see Asula given an opportunity, because I just think with him it's getting to that stage where it's sort of now or never. I know he had a good Euro youth tournament over the summer, but in seeing him and travelling up to Celtic, up to Scotland to see him, I wasn't particularly impressed, to be honest. It's not a knock on the lad, because it's a lot of pressure on young shoulders to lead the line and to be the only striker who's not sat on his ass sulking and trying to demand a move. And I applaud him for his effort, his attitude, his running. He's so enthusiastic, but again, just like the rest of the pre-season, I don't really think that he's taken his opportunity when it was presented to him. You know, I think this pre-season, with everything that's gone on with Isaac, you know, if ever he was going to make the grade, make the cut, I think he would have showed more. And again today, I know he got the goal on Monday, but that was a bit fortuitous. It sort of fell to him, a big long ball through, and it was a bit of a toe poker, and he gets a goal, which is fair enough, they all count. But again today, I don't know. I don't think he's strong enough, and I know he's possibly still growing and developing, and he can add that to his game maybe. Perhaps. I know he's a project player and he's bought on the cheap. And I know he's coming from Sheffield United and all that sort of thing as well. But honestly, if you see something in him that I'm not seeing, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to be proved wrong, because, like I say, his enthusiasm for the club and everything is there for all to see. And, you know, he moves left, he moves right. I'd like to see him more in the middle, but he just doesn't do enough for me. And I think Premier League defenders, when they see him, just have a field day. I think they just literally just sort of force him out of the game. You know, they force him out of the game He's not that effective. In all of the games that I've seen, I just sort of sit there and think, meh. You know, I can't. I can see improvement since he's joined us, but I just don't think he's ever going to cut the mustard. And I go back, here's one. When Miggy was at Newcastle United and everybody around us at the match, he's running around but he's got no end product, he can't cross, he can't shoot, he can't this, he can't that. And it was time and time and time again. And for Miggy Almiron, you can copy that for many other players, you know, prior to that. But we'll use Miggy as a recent example. He's not good enough. You know, where's the goals? Where's the assists? Where's this, you know, the physicality? And then you look at Willa Sula, and why aren't the same questions being asked? Because it's the exact same conundrum. He's not getting the goals regularly, and he just doesn't look. You know, I think if he'd have played, if he'd have still been playing now as I'm recording this, I don't think he would have got a goal. And it saddens me to say it because I really want him to succeed. He's got that sort of attitude that you want him to do so well because he's a likeable character. And he's come in and he's had to take over the mantle in difficult circumstances, and he's not the only one today who deserves critique. Like I say, I think Eddie may have possibly dropped a bit of a one with the formation, with the respect that we've showed them. I understand, you say, the stadium and the noise and the history of the club, blah, 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 but you know, they were there for the taking. There's no doubt about that. They were there for the taking. And I just think as if we went for 4-3-3, I think that would have been the way to have gone. I think we missed something in midfield. I think we missed Joe Linton again, and I will keep batting and banging the drum. I've got my Joe Linton shirt hung up over there. But every time Joe Linton is missing, we miss him as a team so much. Because we don't have another physical, dominant, somebody will put the foot on the game, who will drag it by the scruff of the neck. We don't have that physicality and that presence in midfield without Joe Linton. And I think it's something that we could have and should have maybe looked to have covered in this transfer window, to bring somebody in who can be Joe Linton light, who can come into the team when he's not, who can be rotated in, so that we've still got that physical presence in midfield when he's not available. So let me know what you think down below in the comments on that one. Did we miss Big Joe today? Personally, I think we did. The biggest issue, obviously, is the sulking Swedish rat who sat back on Tyneside on £140,000 a week, of course. I think personally, if we'd have had an Isak, an elite striker up front, a world-class striker up front, who's not sitting there sulking, wanting a bigger payday, then I think potentially we could be sat here on 6 to 9 points very, very easily. And, you know, there's no doubt that that is the underlying thing. The whole circus all over the summer has not helped Newcastle United's cause, not one little bit. But, again, performances today across the park I thought were really, really poor. I think Nick Pope, obviously, he stepped up a little bit. Tino Livramento, I was impressed with him. Jacob Ramsey, he comes off at half-time, a swollen ankle or something that he's got. I'm not surprised after the tackle of Sean Longstaff. It was a rarity to see a Sean Longstaff tackle, mind. But yeah, he came off, didn't he, as well, at half-time. But he was supposed to be playing, I think, on the left-hand side, but he kept cutting in all the time. So it was just really, really disjointed. The system really relied on the fullbacks getting forward and bombing on and creating chances. And although, like you say, Murphy got a couple of decent crosses away, should have done maybe better with one or two of them. Again, it was all, but it's all fur coat and no knickers at the end of the day. You know, that's the sort of performance that it was. We huffed and we puffed, and we had one or two, and I mean one or two, little chances where we could and possibly should have done better. But, you know, against a newly promoted team, I know it's Leeds, I know the history, I know the stadium, but we need to work to keep it more. You know, if you don't buy a lottery ticket, you don't win the lottery. And we didn't work to keep it anywhere near enough. And like I say, I just think we looked pretty lethargic. I thought we were okay. I thought Byrne again and Fabian Schär, it's the same old at the moment, I suppose. If you're not working in an attacking wise, then you've got to rely on your defence to see you through and at least get points, not lose the games, get the points on the board. And then, you know, when we get our new striker, you know, accustomed to the system and the training and the tactics and whatnot. Hopefully all will come good, and that's really the thing to worth focusing on today. The football, you can park that. Last on match of the day, absolutely and utterly fucking dreadful. But to have him, he was sat there in the stands watching on, and yeah, I think you can tell now why we actually need him so badly, why we need him, and possibly another as well. You know, fingers crossed. Eddie Howe was spoken after the game today. Praised the defensive show and the defensive side of it, and I agree with that. You know, a clean sheet at Ellen Road isn't easy to get. I guess, you know, again, it's more historically than anything else, because if you look at their team, pound for pound, we should beat them all day long. But yeah, we kept a clean sheet. We did well. Eddie Howe was speaking to the media after the game and said, look, we are ideally trying to at least get one more through the door. And I think we all know that that's the second additional striker. If we can get the second striker through the door, that allows that rat to piss off down to Liverpool, to never darken our shores again. And then we move on, and we can put this whole circus behind us. And Eddie Howe did speak again about it's been the discussion all over the summer. It's affected pre-season training. It's affected the start. So we need to draw a line underneath it, move them on, get somebody else in. And I think then the squad is looking very, very handsome for after the international break. And two very important games coming up against Wolves and against Barcelona at St James's Park. A couple of home games finally where we've got, well, definitely a realistic chance of getting a victory against Wolves, and then fingers crossed Barcelona under the lights at St James's Park. History to be made. Let's see how we go on that one. I'm going to leave it there. Carl's going to be doing a video as well very shortly. That'll be up on the channel. Subscribe to both Magpie 24/7 and Magpie Ultras. Continue to support us here at Magpie 24/7. Forget about that one. Have a few drinks. And then let's look towards Monday and the closing of the transfer window. And I will be on Sky Sports on that day. Put my two pennyworths in into what will probably be the chase for Johan Visser, the Brentford striker. Although, hey, Larson, he wasn't in the squad, was he, today? So, but have a look at that one, see what the Wolves fans are saying about that. But, you know, one striker from two at least coming through the door, and Isak to be sold, then you'd imagine, through to Liverpool. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on today's game, the transfer window, strikers, and everything else, including possibly Sean Longstaff making fucking tackles for once in his life. All of that down below in the comments. In the meantime, take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.